Hey friends, we are here. That's right, outside Autzen Stadium, home of the Oregon Ducks football team. We get to tour this cool facility. Mr. Mike, who is one of the awesome people that works as an athletic leader here at Oregon, at the University of Oregon, he's gonna be our guide today. So we get to follow him around. He's gonna show us all over Autzen Stadium. I'm so excited. This is Mr. Mike. He is going to guide us and show us all around Autzen Stadium. So let's get started.
This is the tunnel where the players come from their locker room in the building over there, through this way and down the tunnel at the beginning of the game.
Okay, so their locker room isn't here, it's over here somewhere?
It's in a building over there.
Okay, all right. So then this is where they come running down.
Exactly.
Awesome. And how many players are on the football team usually? 100? Whoa. And they're all dressing down every day? Okay. Okay. So that's still a lot. 75 players dressed down maybe? Wow. Okay, here we go. We're almost out on the field. Look at that. Oh, they hit this. Can you guys see that? Yes, there it is. They hit that on their way out.
And that's where the smoke comes out. There's a big cloud and they run out of the cloud.
Awesome! Here we are out on the field. This is so cool. And look at that. There's the scoreboard. We're right underneath the field goal. This is awesome. And what is this part? All those windows up there. What's up there?
That is where the suites and the press box are located. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes.
Oh, cool. So the press box, what happens up there?
That's where everybody from the media, from newspapers, and everybody that covers and reports on the team, that's where they will sit during the game. That's where the TV broadcasters broadcast the game from, the radio announcers, everything like that.
Okay, and are these the same things over here?
That was the press box when I went to school here a long time ago. Now those are some suites also.
Awesome. So a suite is a fancy place to watch the game?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, and we can take a look at one of those in a little bit.
Okay.
The stadium opened in 1967. Before that, Oregon Ducks played football at Hayward Field.
At Hayward Field?
At Hayward Field. That was
the old Hayward Field.
The old Hayward Field.
Yeah.
And the stadium, at that point, the capacity was about 42,000, and it looked pretty much like this half of the stadium looks now. And then in 2001, there was an expansion of the stadium that left this side, the north side, pretty much the way it is right now, but expanded the other side, the south side, and brought it up, and that's when the suites and press level were constructed. So this side of the stadium is much newer than this side of the stadium.
Okay, and how many people does it fit now?
Right now the capacity is about 56,000.
Wow.
And then we have a video board on this end, and I can't tell you for sure how long that's been here, but on the other end we put in a new video board.
That looks new. I don't recall seeing that.
Year. No, we haven't even had a game with that video board yet, but it's the largest video board in a college football stadium in the country.
It's huge.
It is huge.
Oh my gosh. Watching here would be amazing. So with the video board, if I'm here watching a game, that kind of just shows it up close, is that right?
Yeah, it can, it's almost like watching a big TV in your house.
Uh-huh.
The clarity on the screen is almost as good as most TVs. It's pretty amazing.
Wow.
And there'll be replays and all kinds of things like that on the board too. So if you miss something on the field, you can probably watch the replay.
That's amazing. It is huge. And here we are in the middle of the field, guys. We are at the 50-yard line, right here in the middle of the O. This is so cool. All right, let's see what else there is to see over here. So we're walking up right now towards the press box and the suites. These are all the seats that have backs. These are the bleachers. These are the new ones. Now, are these seats all reserved seats?
All of the seats in the stadium are reserved seats.
All of them. So there's no general admission?
No.
Okay, so we're out on the concourse. So we just climbed those stairs, walked through this tunnel.
So this is where the concession stands are, souvenir stands, all the bathrooms.
Okay, so we are looking at these O's up here. They're pretty cool looking. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah. If you take a good look, I looked at them for years and didn't realize what they were made out of. But if you take a good look at them, what they're made out of is the tops of old trophies.
Oh my gosh, really? Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit closer, you guys. Trophies that athletes earned here?
No, just trophies that the artist used to put the piece together. But
that is so cool. So there's one here, and then there's one over there. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going up an elevator to go see the press box.
I'll show you the club first, and you can decide.
Oh my, look at that. This is Club at Autzen, is that what you said? Okay. And who gets to come here?
People that have tickets in the club section have access to this area.
Okay.
It has its own concession stands and restrooms too. Right now, it's actually set up for meetings with the football team.
All socially distanced.
Yeah, all the seats are distanced. It's one of the few places where we could find room to have the whole team sit down together, spaced out enough. So that's how it's been.
So all these TVs, are they playing the game when
Yes,
people are in here?
It's playing this game and other football games too.
Okay. Wow. Plenty to do in here. Go for it.
So these are all suites on this level, and they belong to different companies or different people, and they're just places where they can watch the game and entertain their friends.
And it's lined with all these pictures of the old football teams.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. Was this do we know what year this team is?
It probably is the 1919 team that played in the 1920 Rose Bowl.
Wow. Look at their uniforms have come a long way, you guys. That's awesome. The 1917.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love it. Oh, so we have a history of winning some Rose Bowls.
Yeah.
Look Look at the little difference. The team grows a little bit. This is the 2000. Wow. So are all these pictures just of teams that have won something? Or is it every year will we find in here?
I think
wow. All right, so this is one of the suites where people can go and watch. Can you imagine watching from here? Wow. Look at this. They have these comfy seats. They're not watching the game. This must be the halftime seats right here. Look at this. So they do. Oh my gosh, look at the view of the field they have here.
the
This
glass
is
all
amazing.
open.
This glass opens?
Yes. Yeah,
Wow.
all across all 3 levels of the press box, it'll all be open.
Wow, so it's like they're outside.
Yep.
Awesome.
So if it's
So they have
cold
these.
outside, it's not quite as cold in here, but pretty close.
So these are all, we're seeing, this isn't a mirror, right?
Yes.
Is that a mirror? We're
No-
seeing
no
that.
mirror, you can just see all
So
the
those are all the other press boxes down there. This is amazing. What a cool view. And they all have numbers on their seats here. And this one has its own deck on the side that you could go out and view.
Yep.
And then they get to have meals. Somebody's here preparing meals.
Right, there's snacks there.
Wow.
That mannequin will have the uniform that we're wearing
Oh,
for the game
nice.
that day on.
Nice. This is awesome. And then there's a bathroom, so they don't really have to leave. Once they get up here, they've got food and
Right.
they're chilling. This is amazing. What a great view. And they do have a TV screen if they need it.
Yeah.
I see. What a fun place to watch a game. This is incredible. So cool. Go Ducks.
This is the press level at Autzen Stadium. And you have a lot of different rooms up here. This room, for instance,
All
is
right.
one of the coaches' booths. Both the Oregon team and the visiting team have a coaches' booth where they have some of their coaches sitting up here watching the game and talking to the coaches down on the field on the sidelines, telling them what they see and what plays to run. and that kind
Oh,
of
because
stuff.
this gives you a whole different perspective up here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
but this is the
Whoa.
room where we
Techie room.
have the people that play the different music, that decide what's going to play on the scoreboard during timeouts.
Wow.
This is where the announcer sits. The announcer has a spotter, a person called a spotter sitting next to them who is watching the game and can tell them the number of the player that made the tackle and how many yards they ran for, and I'll give
Oh,
gives
nice.
the announcer all the information that he's able to then announce over the.
Over the PA.
PA.
So this is Autzen Stadium's announcer, not like
Right.
ABC's announcer.
Yes,
Okay.
this is the stadium announcer.
Got it. Going in this is where
Coach's
the
booth.
Oregon coach's booth is. All right, and nobody can see in here. You don't want anybody looking at your coaching strategies. They just see straight out. So excited for them to be back. Hi, Eugene is beautiful, isn't it? What a beautiful backdrop they have.
It
Awesome.
is done from.
Okay, so TV crews would be
So
in here.
usually the announcers that are doing the game will be sitting down at that table there, and everybody else in the room are working to support them and to support the broadcast.
Okay, and so do they bring, this room is pretty sparse of technology, do they bring all their own stuff in here?
Yes, there'll be a TV production truck that comes in usually the day before the game and parks outside the stadium in a special area, and they're able to plug in there. And all the cables are run through the stadium from there. And then they'll bring all their equipment up into this room
Okay.
for the game.
Very cool.
The main, it's called the working press area. This is where you'll have people from newspapers, people from websites, all the different people that cover the Ducks and the visiting team will come and sit in this area and watch the game from here.
Okay.
There's 3 levels. All the windows are open.
Yeah.
So there can be about,
Oh my
in
goodness,
normal
that's
times,
big.
there's
Yeah.
about 100 people that would be sitting in this area here.
Wow. There are tons of people that cover the Ducks. So is this where, like, if, because I listen often on the radio to the Duck football games, is that where this would be as well? Or
No,
they have their own?
The radio broadcasts have their own separate rooms, so they don't bother anybody else, while they're announcing the game.
Right.
And I can show you those when we go
Okay.
down in the other direction.
So 3 levels. That's another level right up there. Wow. Now, what do we have in here?
So this is a stadium operations room, and during the game it's full. You will have law enforcement in here, emergency management people, stadium operations, first aid. So if somebody's sick, they can dispatch first aid or an ambulance to a location inside the stadium or outside the stadium. If there's overflowing trash can, or if there's a bathroom where the sink's plugged up, those calls would come here and people would be dispatched to those locations. These video screens are hooked to cameras throughout the inside and the outside of the stadium, so we can watch what's going on at the different entrance gates, in the parking lot, all around the stadium, for anybody that needs help, or if we have any problems in any of those locations.
Okay. Wow, totally prepared. And I can't help but see, is that climbing gear over there? Are those harnesses for something? Or is it?
Yeah, no, what that's for is...
Or that's fire, what is that?
Opening these windows requires people to go out on that little walkway in front.
Oh!
And they have to put on the climbing gear to go out there to open and close those windows.
There's a little walkway right down there, guys. And we walk out on that. Right there. Right before the seats. Oh my gosh, so do these windows like fold open?
They all...
Like an accordion?
Yeah, they do. They all
Okay.
push down and fold into an area. Actually, this area over here.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. Very cool. And are they opened rain or shine? I know it never rains at Autzen, but...
The windows are normally open no matter what the weather is at the football game. So if it's cold outside, it's still going to be cold in the suite or in the press box too.
Right, okay.
So this is where I spend most of my time during a football game. I like it up here because I can watch what's going on in the stadium. And out here I can watch what's going on in the parking lot.
Because this is where everybody's tailgating?
This is where most of the people are tailgating.
Okay.
And I can watch people walking to the game from the campus there. I can watch the south gate where it's coming in. And down here.
Oh my goodness, look at that. And this field over here, what field? Is that the soccer field?
That's Pepe Field. That's our soccer and lacrosse facility.
Right on.
And baseball is just on the other side of the scoreboard down there.
made for that, is
The
it?
platform was made for that. At one point they came to build a nest right on the lights, and it caught on fire.
I imagine.
So that's why there's a platform there. But there's a couple other places around here too that have platforms for those.
Oh, yeah.
For example, to be in a place where it doesn't cause problems.
Right. Oh God, that must have been scary to see it be on fire like that.
Yeah, I wasn't here at the time, but
You have a great view out here. This is a great place to watch.
it is a great view. It's a little bit cold sometimes and windy.
I bet. I love this view. So beautiful. All right, so from right here, friends, you can see the top. Let's see, where was I? Okay, let's see if I can show you. If I zoom in here, you can see the top, the tower, the Bowerman Tower, is that what it's called? On Hayward Field, and to the left, that's Matthew Knight Arena. And then Spencer Butte is the mountain right there, the little that you can climb. Down there to the left is the BMX track. You can see some cyclists over there. Super fun views from up here.
What this is, it represents every football game played at Autzen Stadium. So these poles, this would represent the first game played at Autzen Stadium, which was in 1967. And Oregon lost to Colorado 17-13. Then the next game they played, they lost to Ohio State
Oh goodness.
30-0, and lost to Washington 26-0.
Oh, there's
And
a
then
win.
when the poles are yellow, that means Oregon won.
Oh,
So
okay.
we beat Idaho 31-6.
So these colors are the color of the other team.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the winning team is the color that the poles are.
Okay, all right. So we can see that we didn't win very many, and then bang, 2 in a row.
So you can see sometimes where they start getting more yellow, that's when the team is better. Unlike this, where it's both colors, is a tie.
Tied. Okay. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this was here. So we don't know the years that this took place, though.
Well,
There's no years.
there are signs right back here that tell the decade. So that was 1970. So that's when this started in
Right
1970.
back there, guys. Okay.
This was the first day that I was a freshman on campus at the University of Oregon, and I came to the football game, and we lost to USC.
Oh no!
53-0.
Yikes!
It was not much fun.
Got whomped. Whoa! Look at that! Look at all those yellows.
Yeah, it's a better time.
That was a good season right there. Okay, so this big black building outside Autzen Stadium, this is where they practice a lot of the time. We get to go in and see what this looks like. Look at this. It's a whole football field inside. This is awesome. I love it. So they practice in here most of the time?
A lot of the times during the season they practice in here. During football game days, we'll cover the turf, and anybody who has a ticket to the game can come in here, and it's like a big tailgate party. We'll have different kinds of foods available over there. We usually have music. There are games and inflatables down at that end of the building that people can play on. All kinds of things like that.
Awesome. And up here, you guys, you can see what goes on up there.
That's an area where the teams can film their practice from. And we'll have not just football, but we'll have other teams practice in here too, especially during winter when it's cold or wet outside. softball and baseball and soccer and lacrosse will be in here. The other day, golf was practicing in here.
No kidding. So the ceiling's high enough that doesn't get in the way?
The ceiling is pretty high, so not very often do they have problems with the balls hitting the ceiling.
Very cool. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for showing us around.
Sure.
And we look forward to having you join us live because students, I'm sure, will have plenty of questions for you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mike. That was awesome.
Good.
Let's start with Wyatt. Thanks for being great listeners, my friends.
How big is the scoreboard?
I can't tell you exactly how big it is. The new scoreboard is huge, though. It's I don't know the exact measurements, but it's looking at it's bigger than a fire truck. I know that.
Whoa, that's big. Thanks for your question, Wyatt. Hannah, what's your question?
I've been to Autzen Stadium before. When was the stadium built?
Autzen Stadium opened first in 1967. And then we remodeled it and expanded the size of Autzen Stadium in 2001. So it went from 42,000 people to 56,000 people.
That's huge stadium, you guys. It feels really big too when you're in the middle of the field looking up around. Very big. Let's see, Paige.
Where do you play when it's raining and hailing?
We still play in Autzen Stadium no matter what the weather is. So I've been at some games where it's really rained really hard, but they still play there no matter what the weather is.
Thank you, Paige. How about Levi?
What was your favorite game that you ever played?
Oh, that's hard to say. They're all fun most of the time. If I had to pick a favorite game, it probably would be, I don't even remember the year. It was the year we beat Michigan at Autzen Stadium. Probably in the early 2000s.
But do the Beavers play there too?
The Beavers only play there when they play Oregon every other year. They have their own stadium in Corvallis called Reser Stadium, where they play all their home games.
Okay.
Thanks, Levi.
Thanks.
Jenna, you have a question?
My aunt likes the Beavers.
Does she? There's a lot of people who like the Beavers. But I hope there are more that like the Ducks.
And Danny?
It's Donnie actually.
Oh, okay, Donnie, what's your question? My apologies.
What's the oldest? No, not that. Oh wait, yeah. What's the oldest game?
What's the oldest what?
The oldest game, I think.
The oldest game would have been the first game we played at Autzen Stadium was in 1967 against Colorado. That was what that one pole was representing. That's the oldest game at Autzen Stadium. But before that, Oregon played football on the campus, they actually originally played not in Hayward Field, but down near the library on the campus, that big open area down there. That's where they first started playing football for the University of Oregon. And that was in the late 1800s.
All right, we have quite the football history. How about Alex?
Why was the O made of trophies?
It's just what the artist decided to do. They thought it would look good. And it looks really neat. I walked past that for years without ever really understanding what it was until somebody pointed it out. It was made out of the tops of all those old trophies.
Yeah, that was cool. I never recognized that either. How about Brangle?
Do you like the ducks or the beavers more?
I like the ducks a lot more than I like the beavers. I went to school at Oregon, so I'm a duck myself. So you got to like the ducks better.
Okay,
Yeah, there's a duck.
Right. Yes. We'll take two more questions. How about Archer?
How long did it take to build the stadium?
I wasn't here when they built it, but I think it took about a year. I know that when they remodeled it, when they did the addition in 2001, it took from the end of the 2000 football season, so the end of November until the 1st of September the following year. So it took about, what is that, I guess, 8 or 9 months.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And let's see, our last question. Let's see, Faye.
I don't know if I was misunderstanding this or something, but it's I was going to ask if if Mike was an Oregon Duck player, if he was just a fan.
I'm just a fan. I'm not a player.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Faye. Hey, my friends, thank you so much. Would you please all give Mr. Mike a big wave of gratitude? Thank you so much for being here. It was awesome having you. And thank you for sharing all your knowledge. And maybe we can come back again another time. It would be great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for watching. And I learned something this time. I know that next time I will talk louder, so I'm easier to hear.
Sounds good. Well, you had to battle with the wind as well.
Next time, maybe we can come back and look at some of the other facilities at the university.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye. All right, my friends. So it's time for a story. I know some of you leave during this time, but I wanted to just let you know next week we get to go to Deck Family Farm. And I know we've already been to a farm before, but this is a different kind of farm. They have pigs. I think we get to meet a horse. We get to watch the milking of the cows and see how they do that. We get to milk some goats. We get to meet some baby piglets. And get a tour of their farm. And they're a special farm that actually is a CSA, which is a community sustainable agriculture. So you can like participate and buy boxes of meat and dairy goods and produce from them. But they're a very cool farm and it'll be a really fun field trip. So I hope you can join me there. But before we go today, our book today is Go Ducks. I thought it was a fitting book. Let me turn off my background so we don't get weirdness behind our story. And we'll go ahead and get started. So this is called Go Ducks, and it's written by Amy Ariel and illustrated by Rafael Di Nazario. It was a beautiful fall day at the University of Oregon. Oregon fans were on their way to Autzen Stadium for a Ducks game. One Duck family was strolling through campus. At Johnson Hall, the family was greeted by Oregon fans cheering, "Go Ducks!" The family walked to Herb Memorial Union, where they cheered with other Duck fans at a pep rally. Everyone was excited for the football game. Oregon fans shouted, "Go Ducks!" The family walked over to historic Deedy Hall, the oldest building on campus. The pioneer statue was the family's next stop. A friendly couple waved and said, "Go Ducks!" So these are all actual places on the University of Oregon campus. At the Duck store, the family picked up Oregon clothing and souvenirs. After finding their favorite Oregon gear, the family was ready for the game. They yelled, "Go Ducks!" Their next stop was Memorial Quad for a picnic. The family enjoyed a great lunch and the beautiful weather. Nearby, students were playing on the quad. The students chanted, "Go Ducks!" Outside Night Library, the family ran into a librarian heading to work. The librarian was happy to see so many Oregon fans on campus. She called out, "Go Ducks!" In front of MacArthur Court, so just a little pause here because MacArthur Court, though it still does stand on the U of O campus, where they now play basketball is at Matthew Knight Arena. This is the old arena where they used to play basketball. It was also nicknamed the Pit because the seating was so steep, but this still exists there. It still stands. In front of MacArthur Court, the family ran into a group of Oregon alumni. The alumni hollered, "Go Ducks!" Outside the Student Rec Center, more Oregon fans gathered for the big game. Fans cheered, "Go Ducks!" Finally, the family arrived at Autzen Stadium, home of the University of Oregon Ducks. As fans crossed the Autzen footbridge, they roared, "Go Ducks!" The family watched the game from the stands with thousands of other Duck fans. The Ducks scored. After scoring a touchdown, the quarterback looked into the stands and called, "Go Ducks!" At halftime, the University of Oregon marching band ran onto the field and marched into formation. The band played Mighty Oregon as fans shouted, "Win, Ducks, win!" The University of Oregon Ducks won the football game. Players and coaches celebrated the victory. The players gave the coach an unexpected shower. The coach cheered, "Go Ducks!" After the game, the family headed home. It had been a fun day at the University of Oregon. Back home, the children were soon fast asleep and dreaming about the next Oregon football game. Go Ducks! And that's the book. It's called Go Ducks. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you could be here. It was kind of fun to see behind the scenes at Autzen Stadium. You all are wonderful for joining me. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week when we visit Duck Family Farm. And I will see you all later. Thank you.